Obama gives major swath of Arizona back to Mexico. I mean, this is incredible. And every week I see where Mexican troops come across and shoot at U.S. police and military, and our troops have been ordered. They can't be armed or have bullets in their firearms. Meanwhile, I've been to military drills around the country where regular Army comes out with loaded guns, and it's actually in my film Endgame. I have troops wearing 45s on their side in New York run over and cuss at me and tell me not to videotape them. And, of course, I got in their face and said, I'm American, I'm red-blooded, it's the First Amendment, get out of my face, traitor! And they backed off because they're so used to people bowing down to thugism and tyranny that they didn't know what to do. And their officer ran across the street and got them. And I didn't care. Let those troops 45 me right in the head. If that's what it takes to defend the First Amendment, how are you going to look, troops, when you shoot an American in the head because you want to come over and get in their face? Some gangbanger with a gun in a U.S. Army uniform. That's what America has turned into, folks. That's what America has turned into. You look at the people burning cars and attacking people in Los Angeles. They're now the police. They're now the military. And they're coming for the property. They're coming for the guns. They're coming for everything. I want to be clear about that. And let me explain something, ladies and gentlemen. You see hooligans in England acting just like the illegal alien gangs in Los Angeles. So it's not a racial issue. It is dehumanized, dumbed down, brainwashed TV heads that have just been turned into morons that have been given power. In fact, let me just get to this now, then I'm going to get into the BP. The BP is our top story. I'm going to spend a lot of time on it and then take your calls. But I want to build the foundation of all this info first. Lakers violence. Authorities release raw video of mob attacking cab, seek public's help. And then the LA Times goes on with the raw video to admit they attacked a bunch of other vehicles, the people in it, set fire to trash cans, set the taxi on fire after pulling the people out. I mean, you watch this video, it's like 5 minutes long. It's actually 6 minutes long. And it is scary. The gang signs, the Mexican flags, the laughing, the burning the car, the dragging people out of their cars on some of the other videos that are out there. I mean, it is scary, folks. It is scary. Lakers violence. Authorities release raw video of mob attacking cab, seek public's help. And you can fast forward to the end when they set it on fire. We can't play the audio, but PrisonPlanet.tv viewers can watch this, or just go to PrisonPlanet.com. You can watch it, I guess, until the government censors the internet. But there it is. See, they don't like the open free internet because it shows misbehavior. Misbehavior by police. Misbehavior by throngs of illegal aliens waving Mexican flags. In fact, there's another angle from wider of this scene where it shows the Mexican flags, big giant ones, people running around. Because we can't play the audio because of all the cussing, but we can at least show that image. Show the video from Friday with the Mexican flags. That's important. But continuing here, what if Tea Parties waving Gadsden flags had trashed L.A.? That's an important article by Paul Joseph Watson at GCNlive.com. Bread and circus has gone awry. Mindless sports fans riot in L.A. What do you see in England? What do you see in South Africa? Rioting, people stabbing each other, people stampeding each other to get into the games. You see people at Walmart because they're going to have a sale, stampede and kill a bunch of people over mindless crud made in China. Crud made in China that destroyed our industrial capacity and any future to have jobs in this country. What have we been turned into collectively? As humans, we've been dehumanized. We've been turned into people that only value sports, that only value sports teams and Hollywood stars and fluff and the latest celebrity gossip. And while you're busy focused on that, the federal government is openly moving to take your free speech and openly moving to set up a North American Union and destroy our republic. And I can think of no better illustration of that than this. I heard this on XM Fox News yesterday, so I went and looked it up, and sure enough, you can even watch video online of LeBron James basically wasn't even going to show up to this fan appreciation event in the city where he lives because he's reportedly going to leave the Cleveland Cavaliers and go to another team. And so it's reported that several thousand people, one press report says 2,000, one says 4,000. This article says 4,000 attended. And it says that LeBron James showed up 10 minutes before the event was over. It was a 2-hour event from 11 to 1. He showed up sometime past 12:40 when most people had already left. There was a stampede with some injuries, with people wanting to get in to see their God. They don't want private property. They don't want a Bill of Rights. They don't want a Constitution. They don't want dignity. They don't want their Second Amendment. They don't want to be able to raise their children as they see fit. They don't want that. They want bondage. Between 2,000 and 4,000 people show up and sit there like schmucks for almost 2 hours waiting for their sports god. And reportedly, he got called by the team managers and told, you better get down here to this. You knew this was coming up. And the slobs gave this slob a trophy, and he left. Now, the point is, could you get 3,000 or 4,000 people to the city council of Cleveland to stop tyranny or stop the fact that the city's openly going bankrupt and is extremely corrupt? Could you get 3,000 Austinites down to the city hall to stop $2.6 billion in taxes over the next 3 years on our power and gas, a total carbon tax ripoff that the UN openly got passed locally because they couldn't get Congress to do it? They said, well, we got some idiots in Austin, let's rob them. Could you get 3,000 or 4,000 Austinites there for that? Could you get 3,000 people to call the FCC or to write letters to the FCC or to call radio stations and tell them to fight back, or to call ISPs and tell them to fight back against government censorship and surveillance of the internet? Could you get 3,000 people out to stand up against water fluoridation, which admittedly causes brain damage and bone cancer? No. Could you get 3,000 people out in Cleveland against year number 9 coming up in Afghanistan, going into year number 7 in Iraq coming up? No, you couldn't. And that's why the globalists are making their move on us. They know we're a joke. I talk to adults who are even well-to-do in business. They don't know history. They don't know anything, but they know all about sports teams. I talk to professors. They're dumber than the box of rocks. I talk to all these pseudo-intellectuals, and they know nothing about the world. And everybody's wearing their UT Longhorns hats. And that's all anybody talks about in the town where I live. Not about freedom, not about liberty, but a fake, tribal, what was the word that the late, great author called it? Grandfalloon. It's something that really doesn't even mean anything, but a bunch of people that have no connection to it rally around it and worship it and laud it. Kurt Vonnegut. Incidentally, Kurt Vonnegut, just cultural point, was a fan of the show and sent me a hand-done print he did about a year before he died. Could never get him on the show, though. He said that his time was over and he was making no more public appearances. I guess he stuck with it. But you love all these grandfalloons, things that don't matter, while all of your freedom is being robbed. In fact, we've got a great graphic up on Infowars.com on the front page that shows a bunch of guys sitting on their couch with beer and potato chips looking at a television set that has the World Cup on. And behind them's a giant picture window. And it's Obama on a bulldozer bulldozing the Bill of Rights and Constitution and our health care. But imagine these people. LeBron James thinks the people that pay millions of dollars a year are a bunch of schmucks, and they are. A bunch of mindless idiots. He could care less about them. He could care less about them. Some appreciation event. Imagine almost 4,000 people, the press reports, showing up to beg and lick the boots of someone saying, please don't leave our town. We associate our well-being and our identity with you, a person that runs around on a court bouncing a ball and putting it in a hoop. We don't have any identity of our own. Don't leave Cleveland. Oh, please. And they begged and cried, and parents taught their kids that this is your idol, not a inventor, not a trailblazer, not an explorer, not a patriot, but some guy bouncing a basketball. That's why we're slaves. BP analysis coming up.